Yes, excellent. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you're seeing the correct screen. This is a little bit new to me. I have to be honest. I come from academia. My background, personally, my background is not in training. I'm in trading. I'm a university professor. That's my original background. But when Earn to Trade was started, they asked me to basically switch careers and help some of the best traders that I've ever met, help them help them develop the educational program for Earn to Trade. That's basically my background. Earn to Trade, of course, we offer education, we offer evaluation, and we offer a chance for funding for our customers. That would be the short introduction to our company. So with that in mind, today what I'm going to talk about is a little bit. I'm going to talk a little bit about our education program, the most comprehensive one that we offer. It's called the Bootcamp, and then I'm going to focus more on the Gauntlet, which you may have heard this name already. We've created a little bit of a buzz since we launched the product early last year. The Gauntlet is basically the evaluation program that we offer for our traders. So that's the plan for today. I'm going to be speaking for about, I would say 45 minutes to 50 minutes. And then I'm going to let you guys ask me some questions. I'm sure you can, through your Zoom, I'm sure you can already see there's a Q&A channel where you can ask me some questions, which I'm going to answer to the best of my knowledge at the end of the session, and then we can go on as long as you'd like, or as many questions you have. Just let me know, and I'll be happy to answer. So let's get started. That. All right, first let's talk about the Bootcamp, which is our most comprehensive educational program. This is the one that we offer on Earn to Trade. What is the idea behind Bootcamp? The idea when we created this program was to take somebody who's only had a little bit of interest towards trading, but does not have the basics, even wants to start from zero and wants to get to a relatively competent level where he has a solid he has the solid groundwork already done, and he can start practicing and start getting into actual live trading. That's the idea. It's a 4-month long program, which is throughout which we offer a variety of different content for new traders. I'm going to go through a couple of these. First of all, I would say the skeleton of the Bootcamp program is our set of video lessons. We have about 70 videos now that we created. It's the format is usually a live presenter. And behind him, of course, there's some animation, or next to him, there is some animation going on. The video lessons we try to create ones that are easy to digest. They are usually between 6 to 12, 6 to 13 minutes in length. And the video lessons cover a lot of stuff, from the basics through technical trading, the psychological aspect of trading, and goes into advanced topics as well. I'll talk about it a little bit more on the next slide. The education focuses mainly on trading Forex and trading futures. That's the two things that we like to focus on in our video lessons. Now, customers who enroll in the Bootcamp program will not only have these video lessons, but can participate in weekly webinars, which are usually about an hour in length. And they discuss topics that maybe the video lessons have already touched upon, but they need to be expanded a little bit, need to be talked about a little bit more, need to see a couple of examples, need to see a couple of ways to use that knowledge in practice. That's what we use the webinars for. Customers have access, of course, to the live webinars where they can ask questions, much like this one, of course. But we also have a large library of all the recorded webinars from the past year now, which is a pretty cool little. This is not even that little. It's a pretty cool addition to our library of content that traders can watch. Video lessons and webinars. What else is there? There's of course mentoring. This is I put it as the third bullet point, but I really should be starting out with this one because this is probably one of the most important things that a young trader or a new trader can get is a mentor. Of course, mentoring is it's usually scheduled once a week. So basically, a bootcamp participant would come to our site, or we would send them an email on Monday asking, hey, what time would work for you to talk to your mentor? And then later on that week, they have a 1 hour session. Well, it's basically between half an hour to 1 hour long session talking about the topic that that particular trader, that particular student is the most interested in that week. So if you have a little bit of a difficulty with finding your support levels, and that's what you want us to teach you, then you just tell us at the beginning of the week. And later on that week, your mentor will be well prepared with charts, with everything that you need on a on a session similar to ours, but of course one-on-one. You ask all your questions, you go through that certain topic, and then you try to put it in practice, of course, as you move forward with your practice sessions. That's the idea behind mentoring. It goes on. It's a weekly thing, of course, and you have access to that throughout your bootcamp program, bootcamp experience. The bootcamp itself is, like I said, I think I may have said it, it's a 4-month long program. So that is also included in the bootcamp. What else do we give you? We also give you the trading simulator, of course. You have access to live real-time data for practice purposes. We we don't work with looped or delayed data, not even on a simulated account or an educational account, much like the bootcamp is. And the platform that you use for this experience is called Finamark. We will come back to Finamark a little bit later as well, because I wanted to. Anyways, when we go to platforms, there's a slide about it. We need to talk about it a little bit more. But Finamark is um, basically was first developed with newbies in mind. It's a very user-friendly platform. It is browser-based, and the most important thing, of course, is that customers who are with us in the bootcamp program can use it for free. Um, that's about it for now. And like I said, I'll be talking about platforms a little bit later in a longer for longer. That would be the meat of the bootcamp program. What we ask our uh, our students to do is well, not try to well, basically it's like all education. It is most effective if you are engaged, if you do your homeworks, if you go through the lessons, if you don't understand something, you raise your hand and you ask a question. It is not going to work if you just binge watch 60 videos in 3 days and expect to be able to trade the markets. That's not what it is. What we need you to do is to be engaged, to spend half an hour to an hour of your day watching the videos, doing the quizzes that we have between the video lessons, attending the webinars, and actually be engaged with your mentor. That's the most important thing. And of course, as you probably all know, my audience today, you all know that that practice is probably the most important thing. Hence, we give you the trading simulator. We also send you newsletters. We send you market analysis, and we have something called the supplementary content. I will come back to this on this next slide. I wanted to talk a little bit about the video lessons, what we cover before we get into the gauntlet on the next slide. So basically, the videos are, I can say, put it this way, are divided into 4 different categories. We have fundamentals. The fundamental videos cover the basics of trading. These videos are developed for the absolute beginner. So the very first lesson The title of the very first lesson is what is trading. You can't really go more basic than that, but that is of course intentional. We want you guys to, or we want new customers to get the often overlooked background or theoretical background of trading under their belt. It doesn't mean we don't want to get customers get lost in theory. This is not a university. It's not a finance degree. We don't expect you to learn full books, but still, there is some groundwork that students need to know before they can actually start clicking on their platforms. Otherwise, it's just really just clicking and clicking and clicking without knowledge or without understanding of what's going on in the market. So that's what the fundamental lessons are for. It's basically a primer for new traders. Then we have another category or another group called the advanced videos. This is when we get into how to use indicators, how to what technical trading is, how to read charts, what chart formations to look for, and also, since it's keep in mind that the entire course was developed by professional traders who have been trading for well over a decade for a living. They understand the psychology of trading and the psychology of getting into this otherwise very difficult field. We try to cover as much of that as possible as well on the advanced lessons. On my screen, you should be seeing a couple examples of what we cover, but really, if you come to the website, it's over, like I said, or close to around 70 videos. So I just a couple of examples that I put up on the screen is what I can do here. Then we have what we call the supplementary content. These are interesting animated videos that are not necessarily how do I put it, readily applicable in your day-to-day trading, but you should know about certain things that go on the market, even though they may not be um, uh, well, immediately relevant to you. Um, you might know already what dark pools are or what high frequency trading is. You should probably know that these have an effect on your trading, even though having finished the bootcamp, you will probably not open a high frequency trading company, but you should still know what they are, and you should still know how they affect the market or what can happen and what sort of other phenomena you may run into while trading. This is what we do on the supplementary lessons. These are really cool, fully animated videos, and our students seem to like them as well. There's a very good feedback. And then finally, the webinars, of course, as I've mentioned earlier, you have access to both live webinars and recorded webinars in the bootcamp. And there's a library of over 30 plus hours of webinars now on various topics. This in itself is a very meaty content, but like a whole bunch of videos on trading related questions that you might be interested in. Come to our site, take a look at our bootcamp program. It's earntotrade.com/bootcamp. And if you have any questions about the bootcamp, please please ask me today. Please ask me anytime, or ask us anytime on our website through our chat as well. This would be the part that I wanted to dedicate on the bootcamp. And now and to our education. Basically, there's more, but this is what we have for today. I want to move on to our evaluation program, which is the Gauntlet. Excuse me. So let's get into the Gauntlet now. What is the Gauntlet? The Gauntlet is basically a 60-day trading challenge that if you pass, you will receive a funding offer. That there's no questions or no maybes. If you pass the Gauntlet, you will receive an offer to get to manage a funded account. Now, today what we will be talking about is how to pass the Gauntlet, what we expect of you, and what sort of features or cool features the Gauntlet has. The base idea is that you have to manage a $25,000 virtual account over a 60 calendar day period. 60 days is some people actually say that it's too short. Other people say it's too long. It's what we have, and it's what we think is good enough for our proprietary trading partner who will do your funding. This is also what they require to be the length of time before they can correctly evaluate a trader. Now, before you start on your gauntlet, after you have made a purchase, you submit your trading plan in the dashboard. So basically, you've just made a purchase, you have your email address, and you have your password that you created for our site. You log in, you submit your trading plan. What are we looking for in this trading plan? It doesn't have to be. Um, we're not asking you to write a long essay about your trading plans. We're not asking you to tell us any secrets that you might have, or if your trading strategy is proprietary. That's all fine. What we're looking for is essentially a 2-3 paragraph introduction to who you are as a trader. You can you can say something like, well, I would like to. I'm trading CL. I don't tend to trade on Fridays for this and that reason. I don't tend to trade early in the morning. I prefer to trade this event or that event. I don't let myself get carried away, so I will set myself a, let's say, $500 daily loss limit. My daily targets are these. My weekly targets are these. So basically, just introduce what your strategy is going to be. This is why do we need this? Because well, the whole idea behind Earn to Trade is to understand and is to give a chance to traders who are wildly different from each other. We don't just want you to follow a certain strategy. And people who come to us and ask us about the education plan, they always say, what's the strategy you're teaching me? No, we don't expect you to follow a single strategy, and we don't intend to teach you a single strategy. You can be whoever you want to be in trading. Just let us know beforehand. So the proprietary trading firm we work with, this is called Helios Trading Partners, by the way, they will know what to expect. And once you're done with your 60-day period, they can compare your performance with what you said you would intend to do. And if the two overlap, fantastic. That's what they're looking for. That's what will get you a good funding offer. And yes, so that's just to circle back. That's why we ask you to submit your trading plan when you made the purchase. Now, we also ask you to trade a minimum of 30 calendar days within that 60-day period, and at least once per week. There's an end relationship between the two, so you need to trade both 30 calendar days and once per week. I apologize. Sorry, I have a little bit of a cold now. Yes, so why do we have those rules? We do not want our Gauntlet participants to hit their profit target, which is 10%, to hit it in 20 days and then just basically slack off and not do anything for for 40 days or the remainder of the Gauntlet. Why? Because this is supposed to simulate real trading, real life, essentially. And if things are going great and you have been trading for a while and you've just hit a 10% mark, you in real life you probably wouldn't be sitting back and enjoying doing nothing for 40 days or 50 days. No, you should follow your strategy through all the way through the entire length of the gauntlet, and you should continue trading. There's no question about that. So that's hence these restrictions or these rules. Of course, just like I mentioned, the profit target is 10%. And there's another rule, the drawdown rule, which is set at 10%. So you start your $25,000 gauntlet, and you should do your best not to hit 22,500. And I should tell you also that any strategy that would involve dipping below that and recovering, that's not going to work. 22,500, your account is terminated and the gauntlet is over. A 10% drawdown with a 10% profit target essentially means a one-to-one risk-reward ratio. That's I think you will probably agree that it's it should be the baseline. You shouldn't really be accepted to trade someone else's, or I mean, sorry, your proprietary trading firm's money with a worse performance than that. Okay, so like I mentioned, you have an option to choose your preset stop losses, your daily losses, weekly loss limits, and targets, as well as some additional rules in the gauntlet when you start. I have to say, I have to add that these rules, these stop losses and daily losses, these are not, these will not break your gauntlet. So if you tell us that you're going to, for example, never lose more than 500 a day, but it happens to be that this day you lost 550 bucks, this is not going to break your gauntlet. It's not a failure. It's just when Helios, the prop firm, looks at your gauntlet results, they will say, "Oh, there was this stop loss thing set, and this gauntlet participant broke his own rule. That's probably something to be a little bit concerned about, or be a little bit more careful." Or actually ask him or tell him that, hey, this was, you passed, but you have to pay attention to your own rules a little bit more. You guys probably know very well how important discipline is in trading. This is basically to test your discipline. You set your own losses and targets and goals. Let's see if you can actually work with them, or you will be taken over by your emotions and just basically become a wild card on your trading platform. We also ask you to describe your trading style. Tell us, then show us. I think I've talked about this on the previous slide. No need to be very lengthy on this topic. Just a couple paragraphs, and then show us that you trade the way you told us you would trade. We believe that the fewer rules, the better. Even with this number of rules, we sometimes get, hey, why do you have to do that, or why is it like this, isn't it like that? The idea is that we have to sort of make an evaluation system that prop firms will be happy with, and this is currently what they are happy with. And I maybe it's just me, but I still think we're very flexible, and we allow a lot of traders to be who they are and trade the way they want. Breaking your own rules does not end the gauntlet. We've covered that, and here's an important point. The better you perform, the better the funding offer. We are sometimes criticized for not having sort of a clear-cut something on our website that will tell you, you made this much money, this is how much money they will give you. We don't really believe that to be the way. This goes back to having the fewer rules and more as much flexibility as possible. The better you perform, the better your funding offer. What does this mean? How do you perform better? Well, first of all, obviously you want to have more than 10% profit. You want to have 30% or 40% or as much as possible. That's very easy to understand why. Also, the lower your drawdown, the better. And the better your risk reward ratio, the better the funding offer is going to be. After all, just like you would be, or just like a lot of us would be, the prop firms are looking for investments that are safe, that are not risky, that are easy to calculate with, conservative, and does not cause surprises. That would be the idea. So the lower drawdown, the better, and the higher returns, the better. That's the idea, and this will probably get you a good offer, a nice risk reward ratio, and not only an offer. I will get into it later. It will get you some other interesting stuff, but I'll talk about it a little bit later on a different slide. There's no point in rushing to 10% sooner. We are not, even if you hit 10% in 12 days, you still have, what is that, 48 days to trade. We're not going to be able to give you a shortcut. 60 days is 60 days. We get asked that questions. We get asked that question a lot. Hey, 10% is not a lot. So what if I do it in 5 days? Do I get? No, sorry. You have to go through the entire 60 days, and you have to keep trading. And that's all the better. I mean, if you do 10% in 5 days, 2 weeks, or 4 weeks, God bless. But we still want you to make a lot more. That's the idea. That's why you guys are and we are in this business. And yep, one more interesting thing here. Currently, this is also a question that people ask us very often. What's the percentage of people passing the gauntlet? This is new statistics. At the moment of this webinar, pass rate is currently a little bit over 20%. That's what I can tell you. We get asked this question all the time. I don't know. Maybe you can tell me why it's important for you guys as traders. I'd love to know. I think it's just if they present you with a set of rules, you can sort of gauge your own gauge the way or the difficulty of the challenge yourself without knowing how other people do. But nonetheless, I'm still presenting it to you that it's currently over 20%. Tell me if you think it's surprising or low or too high, or this is what it is. This is what it is. Now, that about covers the basics of the gauntlet and the general idea and the rules. I'm just thinking if I missed something important on this slide, but I don't think so. So let's move on to some other interesting developments. This is something new. We actually started resets in December, and customers love it. So basically, since the end of last year, the gauntlet can be reset. We've been asked to do that for a while, or we had been asked to do that for a while, and so here it is. If you feel like your gauntlet is not going the way you intended it to go, it's just not exactly where it would be, and you don't really want to spend a lot of time trying to make some losses back that you that for some reason happened. You can reset your gauntlet for 174.50, which is basically 50% of a new gauntlet's price. So any active gauntlet, it's the keyword being active. If you fail the 10% drawdown limit, the gauntlet is no longer active. You have to, which means you have to be paying attention to your account balance. And if you feel like it's time to reset or it's not going your way, just go ahead and ask for a reset and let us know on the website. Otherwise, once the gauntlet is no longer active, you failed this rule, or basically you just you went over 60 days, or for any reason, any other, there's another lot of rules. Basically, these are the two that I can think of off the top of my head, or not trading for an extended period of time. And so if for any reason your gauntlet is rendered inactive, you will need to repurchase. And that's not necessarily 174.50. That would be a very good discount gauntlet. You would have to probably pay the full price or look for a promotion that we do every now and then. That's about the reset. When you reset the gauntlet, the timer goes back to day one, and your account balance goes back to 25,000, and you can give it another shot. That would be a new feature. This is, I think, the first time that I actually talk about it to the public. We, of course, you may have seen, we've sent emails out about this feature, and but this is probably the first webinar that I actually talk about the gauntlet reset. So there you go. Let's move on. Now, this is another new feature, and I think it's a very cool little something that we cooked up for you guys. It's the Gauntlet Guarantee. What is the Gauntlet Guarantee? Basically, if you reach 20% profit, you remember 10% is the normal or the general target. But if you reach 20%, and with a drawdown ratio of 5%, then we will refund the price of the gauntlet. This is very cool. So a lot of people tell us that 10% is not even difficult for them. Fantastic. That's the kind of thing that we're looking for. If you wanna be much better than that, or if you can beat 20% with a lower drawdown, we will refund the price of the gauntlet. It's 20% profit with 5%. That's essentially just an example. So any 4-to-1 risk reward ratio is fine for a refund. If you do, let's say, a 4% drawdown and 16% in profit, that's still 4-to-1. We accept that, and your gauntlet, the price of your gauntlet, will be refunded. This is, of course, as long as the base rules are not broken, which means a 4-to-1 ratio is possible to do. Let's say you can do a 2% drawdown and 8% profit. That's not good enough. So the base rules, meaning 10% in profit and at least and no more than 10% drawdown. Those are the base rules that you cannot break. But other than that, 4-to-1 risk reward ratio is fine for a refund. The refund goes to your trading account. Once you start your live trading, it's or you can withdraw it or leave it on your balance. It doesn't matter. Withdrawals, you can get a standard ACH withdrawal, bank wire, I believe, as well. It doesn't really matter, or some people might consider it as part of their trading capital. We can leave it on your balance. It's really up to you. And one more important thing about this rule, it applies to the current gauntlet, which is the last purchase or the last reset that you've requested. It's not you cannot roll it over through multiple gauntlets. It's always the one gauntlet that you passed, obviously, with this profit to drawdown ratio. A couple of 4-to-1 ratio examples. You can probably calculate it yourself as well, but here you go, just a few examples that you might want to look at. This is all on our website, of course. If you go to earntotrade.com/gauntlet and scroll down, you will see the gauntlet guarantee, which is detailed. Basically what I just explained is detailed over there, and a couple of ratio examples for your consideration here as well. All right, so what happens once you pass the gauntlet, once you've done this evaluation? You get moved over to Earn2Trade's live simulation account. What is a live simulation account? This is basically, we're moving you over to another simulated account, but this simulated account you can withdraw funds from. And not only that, but the first $5,000 that you make in profit on this simulated account, you can withdraw 100%. There is no profit split in the picture. Why do we have this sort of intermittent step between a live account and the gauntlet? Why do we have this second simulated account, and what's the point? Well, we have found that customers, gauntlet participants, treat the gauntlet a little bit like sometimes even like college kids treat their exams. Let's focus on this. Let's do the best that I can. Let's pass the exam and then forget about everything later. This is what we've noticed. A lot of people who pass the gauntlet, even with pretty good results, once they get to a live account, and it's especially true to people for whom this might be the first live account with sort of a significant amount of money. They lose all their abilities to trade, or maybe their concentration, or maybe it's just they get too anxious and they start losing money almost immediately from their live account, which would, result in an unsustainable business model. If most of our gauntlet graduates, they lose money for the prop firm, this will not take us very far, unfortunately. So we have this live simulation account. So for all intents and purposes, you guys will be able to withdraw your profits from this simulated account. There's no difference in that. However, it's not a live account yet. Once you hit your first $5,000, you have to stop, or we will ask you to stop. You will withdraw those funds, and you will move to a live account. Very important. You can withdraw any amount. Withdrawal fees, of course, apply. We take care of the fees if you withdraw more than $500. Below that, there are withdrawal fees that you will have to pay. I believe ACH is, if I'm not incorrect, ACH is free, and bank wires are $15 domestic in the United States, if I'm not incorrect, but I'll be happy to check that for you on the website, and it's on our website anyways in our FAQ. So it does not mean that you have to get to 5,000 and you can't do anything before you hit 5,000, which is a huge chunk. No, you can withdraw $15 as well. Just the withdrawal fees it's not really a good example, but any amount essentially is what I'm trying to say. This simulated account, this live simulation account, will be between $10,000 to $25,000. It will depend on your Gauntlet performance, of course. Much like a live account, this is basically mirroring what the live account is going to be as the third step of your trading career with us. Yes. So this an often asked question: how many contracts I can trade, how many contracts can I trade on the live account, this account, and that account. Whatever I'm presenting to you today, everything is all available margin. There are no unlockable funds that you need to ease into or you make your way into, and there are no extra, how do I say, there are no sub targets or smaller targets and larger targets so that the account would open up to have a bigger amount. No. If the prop firm tells you that your account has $25,000, that's all available margin from day one. There's nothing that you need to unlock later, and there's also no trailing drawdown either on the live sim or the live account. The technicality of the two are 90% the same, anyways. You can trade whenever you want, as long as the market's open, of course. We do not put any restrictions on events. If you want to trade an event, please, by all means, go ahead and do that. If you want to hold your position overnight, if you want to hold your position over the weekend, that's all fine. It's like I said, we try to be as flexible as possible. The live simulation account ends once you've withdrawn $5,000. The first 5,000 in profit, like I said, is 100% yours. Then you get moved to a live account. So let's move to a live account now. Apologize. So the proprietary trading firm we work with and we have a very close relationship with at the moment is called Helios Trading Partners. We hope to obtain more partners in the future, but I'll talk about that a little bit more at the end of the presentation. Helios, just like the live sim account on the previous slide, the funding amount they set is between $10,000 to $25,000. The drawdown limit will be dependent on your Gauntlet performance and the trading style that you demonstrated, and up to 80% profit. That's what goes to you as the trader. Up to 80% if your Gauntlet performance, well, this is basically also dependent on what you show them to be, or how you have performed over the past 60 days. Some people get a higher profit split right from the beginning. Some people get a lower profit split at the beginning, but the main point is that it's never lower than 60% in your favor, and it tops at 80%. That goes to you. That's so 60 to 80%. Just like the live sim account, this is all available margin. There are no unlockable funds or no scaling into larger accounts, and we also don't apply, or Helios does not apply trailing drawdowns either. You can trade whenever you want. Actually, you can see on our website. Anyways, I'll tell you in the end, but we have some example funding offers on our website on the Gauntlet page, earn2trade.com/gauntlet. And a little bit about the setup. How do you become affiliated, or how does that work with the prop firm? So basically what happens is you become a limited member, limited partner, or limited owner of Helios. Um, this means, and this will probably be a lot more meaningful to you guys than to me, because I'm not from the United States. But this means that the end of the tax year, you get the Schedule K1 statement generated to you, and you are taxed 60-40% capital gains tax. So that's a pretty good deal for futures traders, of course, who are in this setup. This is you're not a subcontractor. There's no 1099 arrangement between you and Helios, which means there's also no NFA reporting obligation. So what you become when you move to a live account is essentially a limited owner. You own a piece of Helios, and you essentially trade a chunk of your own money in Helios, which is of course Helios's money. That would be about funding. I see a quick. Sorry. Yes, you can send the questions under the Q&A button, or you can type it here in the chat as well. I'll try to not mess up anything and find all your questions. But thank you very much. Just responded to a quick inquiry. Anyways, this is about funding, and I want to move on now. Okay, the list of available platforms. This is also something we get asked very, very often. And so I want to spend a little bit of time. I'll leave this up, but this is also on our website in our FAQ. 3 platforms that I want to talk about on this slide. First of all, Finamark. I've talked about it a little bit already in the bootcamp. Finamark is browser-based. It's free. It's not by default turned on to every single customer who signs up. So you're gonna have to let us know when you sign up, hey, I wanna use Finamark. It's a new platform. Only customers who come to Earn2Trade have access to it as of yet. This is given to us by a company called Karsten Tech. They are very good friends with us, and they've been working on the platform for a long time. This is slowly being more and more popular. And anyways, we're very happy to let you use it on the Gauntlet for free. You just have to let us know, hey, I want to use this platform when you sign up. Number 2 would be Sierra Chart. Sierra Charts is 60 days free for new users. I should point out that they recently changed their trial version policy. They changed from 60 days to 30 days, but they're nice enough to let all our Gauntlet participants use the platform for 60 days for free, the trial version. So basically, if you come to us and you ask for Sierra Charts, then you can get it for 60 days still. And the third that I want to talk about is RTrader and RTrader Pro. We use Rhythmic as our data feed provider. And RTrader Pro comes with the package. So when you sign up for the Gauntlet, you get a copy of RTrader Pro for free that you can use. It's a very powerful platform, of course. I'm sure a lot of you already are familiar with this product. We're happy to give you a copy. In fact, when you sign up for the Gauntlet, we specifically ask you to install it on your computer and run it in the background, even if you don't intend to use it. It's just as a safety measure. If anything goes wrong in your own platform, you can always go to RTrader Pro, check your status, get out of a trade or get back into a trade, whatever you may need it for. So that's what I wanted to talk about on this slide. Of course, you see all the others that are compatible with Rhythmic, and there's another slide that I have Sorry, this would be the end of the list. I know a lot of you will ask about NinjaTrader. The situation with NinjaTrader at the moment is that it's not officially supported, which means that I can't really promise you that for eternity you will be able to use it for the Gauntlet. Currently, you can use NinjaTrader for the Gauntlet. So you plug in our rhythmic data, you execute the trades in it, and you use it for charting. Just it's perfectly fine on a virtual account. On a live account, however, it will only work for you for charting. So you will be able to plug in your, not your, but our rhythmic credentials that we send you when you sign up. Hey, here's your rhythmic login credentials. Use it. You can plug it in on a live account into your NinjaTrader, but you won't be able to execute on it. It's a tricky situation. Unfortunately, they decided to not allow us to use their product on live accounts, which is, that's what it is. It's a business decision. It's all fine. Like I said, it's okay for charting. It's okay for use your indicators and whatever you have in NinjaTrader already, but you will have to place your trades, execute in a different platform. There's unfortunately on live accounts, there's no way around it. But like I said, for the Gauntlet, you're still okay to use it. That's what I wanted to mention about NinjaTrader. If you don't see your platform, but you do know that it is compatible with Rhythmic, contact us, because this list is by no means exhaustive. Rhythmic is huge, and I'm sure there are plenty of trading platforms still out there that we just don't even probably know about. But if you know that it's Rhythmic compatible, fantastic. Let us know, and we will see what we can do and how we can make it happen for you. That's for the platforms. And finally, excuse me. What is next for Earn to Trade, and what are the upcoming features, what we're planning for 2019? That's what I want to talk about for a couple minutes. First of all, the big thing, or the new thing that we have, and it's going to be out in February. I can't give you an exact date yet, but I'm sure it's going to be happening very, very soon, is our partnership with Journalytics. This is I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with what it is. Journalytics is basically a statistics platform that can give you all sorts of trading statistics you will ever need. So what you can do, or what you will be able to do very soon, is get a 60-day trial when you start the Gauntlet. So as you move through the Gauntlet, as you're trading through the 60-day period, you will get a fantastic set of statistics through Journalytics, which is also, like I said, 60-day free trial, and I'm sure you guys are gonna like it. It's a pretty good and powerful little thing to have. That's like I said, it's coming out very soon, and we will send out emails and we'll let you guys know when Journalytics is live with us, and we're looking forward to it very much. What else is coming up in 2019? We intend to build a much larger community, both with people who have already passed the Gauntlet, and with people who are just about to enter the Gauntlet. Sort of get a little community together where customers can exchange their opinions, and customers can exchange their experience about the Gauntlet and about Earn to Trade. That's one thing that we really need to do a good forum for all of you guys. Another thing that we're planning to do this year, and that are in the works, is partnerships with other prop firms. Like I said earlier, our partner now is Helios Trading Partners. We intend to have a lot more, and it sort of ties into the last bullet point. We're working on other gauntlets as well. We're working on a 120-day gauntlet, a 180-day gauntlet. These are now we're talking about serious time investments, but we're also talking about possibly getting paired up with a prop firm who will have a much better offer for you. If you pass a 180-day gauntlet, or evaluation sort of time frame is, that's, you know, that you can learn a lot about a person in 180 days just by looking at the stats and the way that that person has performed. These are just two examples, 120 and 180. We have a lot of other things in works to be able to work with other prop firms, and it's looking nice and bright for 2019 for us. That's what I had for today. And a very important promo code for you guys for 50% off. You can use this promo code JAN23 or JAN23. If you use it before the 27th of January, or I should say before the end of the 27th of January, so Sunday night, you can get 50% off from your Gauntlet. So yeah, if you feel like it's something you're interested in, or I've sort of made you more interested in trading the Gauntlet, then this is the best possible time to purchase it. Yes, use it before the 27th of January is over. Let me just double check that date. No, sorry. 27th is, yeah, no, I'm correct. Of course, 27th is the Sunday. So you can use it Sunday, 23:59 Central Time. So before Sunday is completely over. Just to make it clear. I hope I didn't make it more unclear than it was. That's our promo. So yeah, that's it for our presentation. And let me take a look at your questions now, and let's spend a couple more minutes talking about them. So the first question would be, reset gives another 60 days. That is correct. If you reset the Gauntlet, then the timer will start again, and you will be trading for another 60 days. That's what I can tell you. Let me see. The second question. I read about the Gauntlet fees, which can be refunded if you have one. Yeah. Okay, so the question is, the refunded Gauntlet fee can be refunded inside the professional account. You mean the live simulator or the one later? Okay, I understand. So the question is, what happens to the Gauntlet fee that you get refunded if you take advantage of that Gauntlet guarantee? And the response is, you can get the Gauntlet fee added to your live sim account as well. So it doesn't just have to go, you don't have to go all the way through the live simulator as well before you get it refunded. I hope that answered the question. So basically, if you're eligible for a Gauntlet refund, you can have that added to your live sim account as well. That's the answer. Okay, I see questions about NinjaTrader. I think I've pretty much, let me see. Okay, is NinjaTrader okay for the simulated live account or not? Thank you for the question, Martha. Yes, it is possible to use on the simulated live account. However, NinjaTrader is not possible to use on live accounts with actual money. That's what it is. Yes, thank you very much, Jono. There's another question that we need to talk about. The website says that the bootcamp includes the Gauntlet, but I didn't mention that. Does it include the Gauntlet? Of course, and I am a terrible presenter for not doing that. If you take the Gauntlet, the second half, if you take the bootcamp, the second half of the bootcamp is essentially a full Gauntlet that you can do. So you purchase the bootcamp, you go through the education, you go through the videos, the webinars, and the mentoring, and then when you're ready, which should be the second half of the 4-month period, the second half of the 4-month period, you take a Gauntlet and you go for funding. Thank you very much for actually reminding me to mention that. Of course, the bootcamp includes a full Gauntlet. The Gauntlet, and I also see a question about the price of these products. Um, the Gauntlet is, well, when you don't have the 50% off code, just like you have at the moment. The Gauntlet is 349, and that's what it costs. That's the full price, and the Bootcamp is 24.99. The Of course, the bootcamp is a 4 month long program with weekly mentoring, one-on-one session with professionals. It's a much larger package, and it includes a gauntlet within the bootcamp. So that will be that's about the price of the product. Um, Another question: 4-to-1 risk-reward ratio will get us to a 25K funded account. If you can do 4-to-1 risk-reward ratio, you will most likely get that yes. This is important, guys. Before you all slam down your headsets and okay, I got my answer. Let's leave now. It's important for me to tell you that the offers are made by Helios and not Earn to Trade. So you're proving your trading finesse to the prop firm. I can't give you exact guarantees about the size of the funded accounts. However, a 4-to-1 risk reward ratio will most likely get you a 25K funded account. That I can safely say. Again, it's not a guarantee, but it will most likely get you that. 4-to-1 is very, very impressive, and I don't really know if I've me personally, I don't remember if I've seen a lot of people do that. I've seen one or two, but 4-to-1 is very, very, very impressive. So yeah, that for the risk reward ratio. I see all the questions are coming in. Don't worry about, guys. I'm gonna go through every single one that I can see. So no worries. Do you have mentorship during the gauntlet of the boot camp? No. Once you hit the gauntlet, it's you're on your own, and you have to be able to be. That's the time when you have to actually prove that you've been paying attention. Okay. I was about to purchase a reset. Should I just use the current promo by January 27 and initiate a new gauntlet? Oh, so you're already in the program. I understand. So, well, I think since if you're eligible to reset, which I can't physically check at the moment, the reset will cost you 174.50. This is of course, that's the cost of a reset that you can only do. Like I think I mentioned it earlier, you can only reset an active gauntlet. So I don't know the status of your gauntlet, if you're still active or not. But if the gauntlet is active at the moment, you can reset for that price. If it's not active at the moment, but you have this promo code, you're essentially purchasing a gauntlet for the same price. I hope that answered the question. How does a Gauntlet participator pay the TT platform fee? Yeah, TT is a little more complicated than other platforms. I believe what you can do is if you don't have a live TT account, you don't have a TT account at the moment, then you purchase it through us. So basically, you tell us, hey, I'm gonna be using TT, and I don't have a TT account at the moment that is live, and then we will have to charge you that much more, however much TT costs. TT is a little bit more complicated. It's important to note that um, basically whatever platform I'm thinking if that is correct, but any other platforms on the Gauntlet, if you are not a professional by the CME standards, so if you're non-professional, you can have free access on the Gauntlet to all 4 CME exchanges. TT is an exception. On the Gauntlet, if you use TT, that you are automatically professional, and you will have to pay professional exchange fees, which are $105 per month per exchange. Now on the Gauntlet, so let me restate that. On the Gauntlet, if you're non-professional, you have access to all 4 CME exchanges for free. On the Gauntlet, if you are a professional, you get 1 exchange for free. That's something we give you. And the other 3 you can purchase for $105 per month per exchange. So it can be a hefty little amount if you intend to trade all if you intend to trade all exchanges. You shouldn't really be doing that. This, I was talking about the Gauntlet, correct? Now, if you go to a live account, however, you are automatically considered a professional, which means professional exchange fees, which is again, that's a little bit of a bummer. However, we do allow customers to just simply get the exchange fees deducted from their trading account. So the prop firm will not ask you to get your credit card out and pay separately, or make these payments separately for the exchange fees. You can just tell them, hey, please deduct it from my trading account. Unless, of course, you really insist on having the trading account for only trading, you can, of course, pay separately, but that's not the point. The point is that we'll just deduct it from your trading account. That's as much as I can tell about TT and exchange fees. Can you switch to TT at Helios after passing the Gauntlet on another platform? Yes, you can. I don't see an issue with that. And thank you for asking that question, David. Generally speaking, there's no problem switching between platforms. So if you halfway through the Gauntlet, even you tell us, hey, I want to switch from this to that, that's okay. However, TT is always a little bit of an extra sort of hurdle and a little bit more complicated. So I would advise coming to our site and asking our support staff directly, because I really don't want to mislead you into thinking something that may be incorrect. So yeah, regarding TT, any other platform, I can tell you that you can switch very easily between. You can actually, from the very beginning, use multiple platforms even. That's no problem. With TT, I'd advise coming to our site and asking us directly, asking our support staff, and that goes to the to higher up, who can to the platform people who will be able to give you a better answer. Okay, these are some of the questions here. Let me give me just one moment. Let me look at some other stuff here. Lee's asking, there are a couple simulation levels during the first 30 days. Is trading with real or simulated dollars? I'm not sure what you mean by simulation levels during the first 30 days. You might want to expand on that question a little bit, Lee, but again, I'm not 100% sure I understand that. 4-to-1 risk reward will get us to a 20K funding account. Oh yes, it's the same question, Vitaly. It's I just see it here now as well. It will most likely get you that. This is what I can say about that one. Do we pay for data fees during the Sim Live account? Yes, the Sim Live account, for all intents and purposes, is like a real account. So while it is technically not real, and it's not a live account, it's still a simulated account. We do have to simulate data fees as well. There's no question about that. The cost of the Gauntlet is the same as the Bootcamp. No, it's not the same. $349 for a Gauntlet, $24.99 for the Bootcamp. Yep. Yeah, could we know a little bit more about Helios? Yeah, sure. Helios Trading Partners, their website is heliostp.com. They have been around for a while. Actually, there's a little bit of overlap between the owners of Earn to Trade and the owners of Helios as well. They were the first one to partner up with us, which we appreciate very much. Um, as about the number of traders they have. So we've had quite a lot of customers pass the gauntlet last year. It's This is what I can tell you. I mean, I think we didn't exactly hit 100 people, but we got quite close last year. As of what if they're still with Helios or not, I can't really give you an exact answer. And this goes also sometimes people ask me or people ask us if we can get an appointment or if they could talk to some of the people who trade for Helios. Unfortunately, once you pass the gauntlet and once you move to Helios, you stop being an Earn to Trade customer, and we can't just get your information or can't just get somebody's information who's not our customer, or even if they're our customer, we can't really promise you that we will be able to hook you up with somebody like that. We are working on the forum, and we are working on the community building this year, so you'll be able to speak to these people and ask more questions. But in the meantime, unfortunately, no, I won't be able to just sort of hook you up with someone who's at Helios. That's the best I can. That's the best I can tell you at the moment. Somebody may have stopped, even if we sent them close to 100 people. Somebody must have, people must have stopped or restarted or not even interested in trading anymore. You never know. But yeah, that's my answer. Cost of bootcamp is $24.99. Do we have a platform or app that would allow traders to manage trades from a mobile phone? Um, well, if I can actually go back to the list of available platforms on the screen. If any of these have that feature, I'll be happy to know. Unfortunately, at the moment I can't really give you an answer right off the bat. I do know that Finamark will have that in the future. That is in the works, but unfortunately I can't give you a timeline on that. For now, this is what it is. Mhm. Oh, somebody's telling me in chat. Vitali is telling me that TT has a mobile app. Thank you very much. Thank you for that information. I hope that answers the question to Stacy as well. And I'm sure there are all sorts of tricks that you can do with mirroring your Chrome if you're using a web-based, browser-based platform. You can somehow through magic get it onto your cell phone, and through mirroring Chrome, and Android has those features. But I don't know if that's a very good idea to do. It's always best. I don't know. Maybe you guys can tell me otherwise on the chat, but it's probably best to have everything. Have your little workstation and work from there, and sit down and focus, and not try to trade on your mobile phone. But I don't want to tell you how to do all that. Okay. Thank you, Martha, for the suggestion. Thank you very much. Yeah. The 50% off is on the Gauntlet. And let me go back to that screen, actually. Yeah, the promo code. Okay. I think that I've gone through everything pretty much. I see a couple more coming in. Oh, okay. I understand now. So we have a participant asking the question, after the boot camp comes the 30 days gauntlet with simulation, then after the 30 days comes the live simulation. So during the first day gauntlet, is it real or simulated money? No, there must be, this must be a misunderstanding. When you do the boot camp and you do the gauntlet, either the gauntlet or the boot camp, it doesn't matter. It's all simulated, right? And there's no 30 days gauntlet either. The gauntlet takes 60 days. So if you do the gauntlet as part of your boot camp, you have a 4-month long boot camp and 2 months or 60 days to be more exact. 60 days are essentially the gauntlet. This is all a virtual account. Once you pass the gauntlet, you get to the live simulated account. The live simulated account, that is after the gauntlet. And that's like I explained earlier, that's still a simulated account, but you can withdraw real funds from it. That's the difference. That might have caused the confusion. But anyways, the gauntlet is always 60 days, regardless if it's inside the bootcamp or you buy it separately because you don't need the education. You're already ready to go live. That's good. You can buy the gauntlet separately, but it will always be 60 days, and it's always the gauntlet is always virtual funds. Does the dashboard work? Where can you see the trading results? Yes. Basically, at the moment, unfortunately, since there's some API connectivity things that need to be resolved still between Rhythmic and our dashboard, the dashboard will not show you trading results. However, you can always use our Trader Pro, which we provide with the data feed to all these to all our customers, and yeah, so basically that's where you can check your results. Or like I mentioned, I think I have that here a little bit earlier, Journalytics will give you a 60-day trial for to be used with Earn to Trade. Journalytics will give you a whole lot more than what any dashboard could be giving to a trader. Just basically endless amount of statistics, anything that you might need. So in a couple of weeks, you'll be able to use it for free on the Gauntlet with us. I hope. How can we get Journalytics? This same response essentially. It will be announced to everyone in our database, and we will make sure that everyone hears about this partnership. It's just not we haven't finished the whole integration and working out the details yet, but we'll let you guys know as as soon as it's done. And one more new question that I see here. Is there a new rule, or isn't there a new rule to trade a minimum number of days in the Gauntlet? That is correct, David. You have to trade a minimum number of 30 days within the 60-day period. And you also have to trade at least once per week. So you cannot skip entire weeks, and you have to have traded at least 30 days out of the 60 days in order to pass the Gauntlet. Otherwise you failed. Now, and this just reminds me for a little, it reminded me of another thing. Thank you very much for bringing it up. People sometimes ask us if the prop firm will let you off for weeks on end, or what's the relationship, is how much they need you to trade. Essentially, they want you to trade as much as possible. But if you're on a holiday, if you have an emergency, if you have, there's plenty of reasons why you might be away from. Thank you, Remy is just asking the question. It could be family emergency or health problem. If something like happens on your live account, you have to let them know, and I'm sure they will raise no issues with that. This You can't actually ask people or get people to sit 5 days a week. It's not a full-time job. That's what we would like you to treat it like. That's what the prop firms want, and that's how you become very profitable, or hopefully that's the intention. But yeah, of course, there are health problems, family emergencies, and just straight up holidays. That's all good. Just let the guys know. That's all. You just let them know. If you disappear off the planet, off the face of the planet, without a single word, then they will just close your account. They don't want money sitting on an account that nobody's managing. I'm not familiar with the K1 statement. Are there benefits like health with Helios? Um, the Well, there are definitely no benefits like health. There's no that's no question about that. But regarding taxation, K1 statements, and all that, it's if you go to traders at heliostp.com, traders at heliostp.com, they will be happy to answer all these questions. I it's very First of all, it's very hard for me to respond to tax regulation questions because I'm not in the United States, and second, I'm not supposed to, and you're supposed to speak to your accountant and ask them, especially for foreign nationals. We allow foreign nationals. We've had foreign nationals. It's not just, by all means, not limited to United States, but speak to your local accountant, speak to your tax advisor, and then and only then get into this venture, because we can't and we shouldn't and we don't respond to tax questions. That's the short answer. Okay, so I think I've gone through the Q&A questions. Thank you very much for all of that. And yeah, that seems to be it on the chat as well. Look, if I missed your question for any reason, it's probably the reason is probably because I was not paying attention enough, but I think I tried to answer all the questions, and I think I did. If you didn't, at any point, you just come to earn2trade.com and chat us. We have quick customer support. They're the fastest hands near a keyboard. They will respond to your questions. You can direct the questions to me as well if you'd like. Hey, I just watched the webinar, Francis. You neglected my question, and this is my message to you now. I'm angry. Please go ahead and do that. I'll be happy to read and I'll be happy to respond. But otherwise, guys, thank you very much for this session today, and I hope to see all of you online very soon. Here's the promo code one last time, and enjoy your afternoon. Thank you very much to everyone. Thank you.